Catherine now stands in her place and makes every single decision that used to belong to her. But the worst part for 0:18:18 seconds Camilla is the shocking new decision they made about her future. One that has sealed her fate for good. She ran straight to Charles and pleaded with him 0:26:26 seconds to change it. Nobody saw what he did next coming. Something no king has ever done before. 0:34:34 seconds the silence. 0:37:37 seconds somebody inside the palace tried to bury this story before it ever saw daylight. 0:42:42 seconds and William. He wasn't having it. Word reached him that someone close to the family wanted the announcement pushed music back, buried under other 0:49:49 seconds headlines, where nobody would even notice it. William said no. He wanted this out now, before anyone in that palace got the 0:56:56 seconds chance to quietly strangle it in a back room. So the statement went out early. 1:0:11 minute. 1 second Princess Charlotte was now the royal guardian of the crown. There was nothing anyone could do about it now. Behind closed doors, Charlotte sat beside her 1:101 minute. 10 seconds mother, Catherine, hearing the full weight of what those words actually meant. For the first time, she did not smile. Her hand gripped the edge of her chair so hard her knuckles went pale. 1:2:11 minute. 21 seconds she was genuinely worried and frightened. She was about to become her brother George's main support. She would carry charity work. She would stand in 1:3:01 minute. 30 seconds for him during emergencies. And let's be clear, George lost nothing here. He was still first in line, still the one who 1:3:81 minute. 38 seconds would, with a crown one day. Nothing was taken from him. But something was being handed to Charlotte that nobody her age had ever been trusted, with 1:4:61 minute. 46 seconds before. Something huge. An aide music placed the sealed plan on the table. 1:5:11 minute. 51 seconds William opened it and read the final line twice like he needed to check his own eyes weren't lying to him. This 1:5:81 minute. 58 seconds wasn't some ceremonial title to smile for cameras with. This was real power. 2:0:32 minutes. 3 seconds training, private briefings. The right to act for George himself if disaster ever struck the music country. 2:1:02 minutes. 10 seconds Catherine watched her husband's face and felt her stomach turn because she understood something William hadn't fully admitted yet. 2:1:72 minutes. 17 seconds. Music. 2:1:72 minutes. 17 seconds. What if this gift cost their daughter everything ordinary about her life? 2:2:22 minutes. 22 seconds William signed it anyway. Then he looked at Charlotte and told her, plain and simple, that this was never about standing behind her brother. It was 2:3:02 minutes. 30 seconds about standing beside him. Charlotte looked at her mother, then at her father. She said nothing at all. And that silence, it said more than any 2:3:82 minutes. 38 second speech ever could. Word spread fast after that. Messages, music poured in from every corner of the family. Warm 2:4:52 minutes. 45 second swords. Proud words. But Camilla, what she did next shocked everyone. The Queen Consort read the announcement, and her 2:5:42 minutes. 54 seconds calm, cracked wide open. Behind closed doors, away from the cameras, she exploded. What were they thinking handing such power to a little girl? She 3:0:33 minutes. 3 seconds spat the question at her own staff, demanding to know how this had been allowed to happen without her. She stormed through her private rooms, and 3:1:03 minutes. 10 seconds declared that William and his family music had just made the biggest mistake of their lives. And she wasn't finished. Not even close. She swore 3:193 minutes, 19 seconds right there, that she would make every single one of them regret it. William had no idea any of that was happening. All he saw was the silence from Camilla. 3:283 minutes, 28 seconds, not one public word from Camilla at all. 3:3:03 minutes, 30 seconds, but in that one small, cold silence, he understood something the rest of the family hadn't figured out yet. This was only the beginning. And here's the thing. William could hear real worry buried somewhere in her voice. But underneath that worry sat something else entirely, something colder. She wasn't 3:4:83 minutes, 48 seconds just protecting tradition. She was protecting an order. An old familiar order that this plan was about to blow wide open. And whatever was eating at 3:5:73 minutes, 57 seconds or about that, she wasn't ready to say it out loud. Not yet. The conspiracy. For 0:54 minutes, 5 seconds that week, Camilla furiously summoned William to a private room in the palace. For 1:04 minutes, 10 seconds this title, she told him, was going to confuse people. It was going to invite comparisons the family simply wasn't ready to handle. She shoved the folder for 1:94 minutes, 19 seconds back across the table like it had personally offended her. And that's when she really started swinging. She argued that giving Charlotte this kind of 4:274 minutes, 27 seconds title, jumping straight past the normal path everyone else had to walk, would look like a slap in the face to, and for 3:44 minutes, 34 seconds Edward, Music and Sophie, 3 royals who had spent years, decades even, earning every duty they carried for 4:414 minutes, 41 seconds Charles, one slow step at a time, with no shortcuts and no title handed to them early. How would it look? She asked if a 4:504 minutes, 50-second child skipped that whole line entirely and landed at the front before she'd even grown up. This is stupid, she blurted. But let's call that out for 4:584 minutes. 58 seconds exactly what it was. Camilla and have never gotten along. Not once. Not in public and not behind closed doors. 5:065 minutes, 6 seconds she didn't care about Anne's feelings one bit. Anne's name was just a shield, something respectable to hide behind while she fought for something far more. 5:145 minutes, 14 seconds personal. William kept one hand flat on the folder, refusing to let her pull it back again. And he answered calmly. 5:225 minutes, 22 seconds calm, almost. He told her this wasn't an insult to anyone. This was built for the smaller monarchy George would one day 5:295 minutes, 29 seconds inherit, a family that could no longer afford to leave its future king isolated, or his sister standing around with no purpose at all. Camilla's voice 5:385 minutes, 38 seconds dropped lower, softer. But don't be fooled, because the tension in that room only got worse. She asked if Charlotte 5:465 minutes, 46 seconds was even old enough to carry something this heavy. Then she crossed a line nobody saw coming. She stopped pretending this was about Charlotte at 5:535 minutes, 53 seconds all. She said it straight to Music, his face. This whole thing was Catherine's doing. A mother grabbing power and calling it duty, so nobody could call it 6:016 minutes, 1 second selfish. Because, at the end of the day, it wouldn't really be Charlotte holding that power. It would be Catherine pulling every string from behind her 6:096 minutes, 9 seconds daughter's back, Music, hiding behind a child's name while she called the real shot herself. William's face went cold 6:166 minutes, 16 seconds in an instant. He got in close, voice low and hard, and told her to never talk about his wife like that again. Not 6:246 minutes, 24 seconds ever. Catherine wasn't in that room trying to grab power for anyone. She just wanted her daughter looked after properly. The way he stood up for 6:326 minutes, 32 seconds Catherine, like that disgusted her right there in front of her, without a second of hesitation. What gave him the right 6:396 minutes, 39 seconds to speak to her? The queen consort in that tone. Who did he think he was? For a second, something else slipped out from underneath all her arguments. 6:496 minutes, 49 seconds something raw than tradition or protocol. She told William that she had spent decades in this family fighting for every scrap of respect she ever got. 6:586 minutes, 58 seconds nobody handed her anything. She earned every single bit of power she now held, one slow year at a time. And now here's 7:067 minutes. 6 seconds was a child barely old enough to understand what real power even meant, being handed all of it in one afternoon. 7:147 minutes, 14 seconds. William caught it instantly. This was never really about Charlotte being too young, or about tradition. 7:217 minutes, 21 seconds at all. This was about Camilla herself, and how much it hurt her to watch a child get given in one signature what 7:287 minutes, 28 seconds took her a lifetime to build. Then she warned him that this title was going to change the whole temperature of the family. William didn't blink. L of this. Long before any folder, any leak, or any fight in that room ever 10:1910 minutes, 19 seconds existed. The boy who was left alone. It happened at the Commonwealth Youth Service, a huge royal event held at Street 10:2610 minutes, 26 seconds. George Hall, packed with young people from across the Commonwealth. George was set to give his very first formal speech, music, that day. William was meant to 10:3910 minutes, 39 seconds stand right beside him. Charlotte and Louis were just meant to sit nearby and watch, nothing more. Minutes before 10:4610 minutes, 46 seconds. George was called forward. He overheard something he was never meant to hear. 10:5010 minutes, 50 seconds to officials talking low, using words like concerning, words like not the first time this month. And just like 10:5910 minutes, 59 seconds that, George's whole world tilted. This wasn't nerves about forgetting a few lines anymore. He suddenly believed 11:0611 minutes, 6 seconds someone he loved might be seriously ill, that nobody was telling him the truth, and that he was about to walk out on that stage while everything behind the 11:1511 minutes, 15 second scenes was quietly falling apart. And then, without a word, William immediately left the hall. He didn't even glance at 11:2411 minutes, 24 seconds. George on his way out. Just a flash of pure worry crossing music. His face before he disappeared through a side door with an aide. Nobody told the family 11:3311 minutes, 33 seconds what was happening. It would take months before whispers started making their way around the palace. That William had been rushed off to take an urgent call. That 11:4211 minutes, 42 seconds someone close to him, maybe Charles, maybe even Catherine, had suddenly fallen unwell that very same afternoon. 11:4911 minutes, 49 seconds, but in that moment, music, standing in that hall. Nobody knew a thing. All they knew was that William had vanished, and 11:5711 minutes, 57 seconds. George was now standing there completely alone. The program couldn't wait. Guests were already seated. Officials were 12:0412 minutes, 4 seconds whispering behind their hands. Music. He said the public's trust and attention sat with Catherine now, and the family had two choices in front of them. Accept 12:1312 minutes, 13 seconds at reality and act on it, or ignore it completely and watch support for the monarchy quietly fall apart. He said 12:2012 minutes, 20 seconds. This wasn't cruelty. This was the family choosing to survive. Camilla turned to Catherine next. She asked her directly if she had personally requested any of 12:2912 minutes, 29 seconds these events. Catherine said no, music, and she had answered honestly, yes. 12:3412 minutes, 34 seconds. Camilla pushed harder. She asked if Catherine believed popularity alone should decide who holds real power in this family. Catherine didn't back down. 12:4412 minutes, 44 seconds, music. She said popularity can fade one day. Sure. But ignoring what the public wanted right now would only make things worse for everyone, including Charles. 12:5312 minutes, 53 seconds. Camilla asked one more question. Music. Was Catherine protecting her out of respect or simply protecting the palace from bad headlines? Catherine said both. 13:0213 minutes, 2 seconds. Things mattered. But neither one changed the real problem sitting in front of all of them. The family needed something the public could believe in, and it could 13 to 10:13 minutes. 10 seconds, not keep waiting forever for the next generation to step up. Then Camilla asked the one question underneath every other question she had asked that day. Would 13:1913 minutes, 19 seconds Catherine take her place beside Charles, music, at the events that actually mattered? Catherine's Answer came and final. She would stand exactly where the 13:28 minutes, 28 seconds family needed her to stand. Nothing more, nothing less. The ultimate betrayal. 13:36 minutes, 36 seconds. Camilla was still sitting at that table, and she wasn't finished yet. She had done her research well, and she had stumbled upon something ugly, and had 13:45 minutes, 45 seconds also been involved in this cruel decision to push her out. And the whole time she had just sat there like she had done nothing. Well, Camilla was done 13:53 minutes, 53 seconds putting up with that act. So, she turned and looked straight across the table at her. Her jaw tightened, and didn't look away. Camilla asked her directly if she had known they were planning to do this. 14:04 minutes, for seconds, and glanced at Charles, first, music, like she was checking whether he wanted her to soften it. He said nothing. She looked back at Camilla and admitted at 14:12 minutes, 12 seconds plainly. Yes, she had known. The room went completely still. And that was the moment years of quiet resentment finally 14:20 minutes, 20 seconds rose to the surface in Camilla. She reminded and in front of everyone at that table that in all the years she had 14:27 minutes, 27 seconds in part of this family, and had never once curtsied her. Not one single time, not at a single event, not in a 14:36 minutes, 36 second single hallway, not even in private. She said it out loud now, because she wanted everyone in that room to understand exactly what this moment really was. 14:44 minutes, 44 seconds. This wasn't just about schedules and duties. This was, and finally getting to act on something she had felt for years and never had the excuse to say. Camilla 14:54 minutes, 54 seconds sat up straighter in her chair and told her plainly that whether and liked it or not, she was still the queen. And's mouth curved into a small cold smirk. 15:03 minutes, 3 seconds. Music. She asked Camilla if that was really the best she had, or if she had anything stronger. Camilla's hands clenched under the table. Her chest 15:11 minutes, 11 seconds tightened, and for a moment she couldn't find a single word to throw back. Take it back. 16:21 minutes, 21 seconds. He said nothing at all. He simply sat there and let the silence answer for him, erased by the king. A week later, another meeting got called, and this one hit completely music different from the second everyone sat down. A senior advisor 16:37 minutes, 37 seconds walked in holding a second document way thicker than the folder from before. 16:41 minutes, 41 seconds. This one wasn't about next month's music calendar. This covered everything big going forward. Coronation anniversaries, Commonwealth events, 16:49 minutes, 49 second state banquets. Every single major moment the family would need someone to lead if Charles ever had to step back further. Camilla reached for it right 16:57 minutes, 57 seconds away. The advisor pulled it back before she could even touch it. Not signed yet. William had already reviewed it. 17:03 minutes, 3 seconds. Catherine had already agreed to it. The only signature missing, Charles's. 17:07 minutes, 7 seconds. Everyone got sent out so Charles could sit with it alone. Girl, he didn't even touch it at first. He just sat there thinking about 3 different reasons people had already thrown at him. 17:17 minutes, 17 seconds. William kept saying the family needed to get ready early instead of waiting until there was an actual problem. Catherine had already shown him with her own 17:25 minutes, 25 seconds hands that she could handle the work without a single mistake. And then there was Camilla. Years of loyalty. Years of 17:32 minutes, 32 seconds history. And his own promise that his time as king wasn't just going to be some short wait before William swooped in and took it all. William walked back in first, and he didn't waste a second. 17:43 minutes, 43 seconds. He told Charles straight up they couldn't afford to wait anymore. State visits and Commonwealth relationships needed music, certainty, right now, not 17:52:17 minutes, 52 seconds months down the line. He reminded Charles again that crowds already responded to Catherine everywhere she went, that organizers were already calling and asking for her by name. 18:03:18 minutes, 3 seconds. Charles looked up and asked him point blank, is popularity really what should decide something this huge? William 18:10:18 minutes, 10 seconds did back down for 1 second. He said, no, but ignoring what the public already wanted would only blow up in their faces later. Camilla walked in before Charles could even answer that. 18:21:18 minutes, 21 seconds. She reminded him one more time that cutting her out would make him look temporary, like his entire reign only existed to warm the seat until William was ready. William's whole face changed. 18:33:18 minutes, 33 seconds. He told her flat out this had nothing to do with applause. This was about making sure the family survived for decades, and refusing to plan now would only leave everything wide open later. 18:44:18 minutes, 44 seconds. Charles had heard enough. He sent everyone out except Anne. And didn't sugarcoat a single word. She told 18:51:18 minutes, 51 seconds him straight. This decision had to be his, only his, not William's, not Catherine's, not Camilla's. She warned 19:00:19 minutes him. If he signed just because his son pushed him into it, resentment would follow him for years. And if he refused just to protect his wife, the 19:09:19 minutes, 9 seconds uncertainty, hanging over everything would only get worse. Charles sat with that for a long moment. Then he picked the document back up. He read Camilla's name printed right there on the page. 19:20:19 minutes, 20 seconds. Read music it twice. Then he grabbed the pen and crossed it out himself. One clean stroke. No hesitation. No second. 19:28:19 minutes, 28 seconds. Thoughts. He dictated new wording to the advisor, standing right beside him. No mention of Camilla anywhere in it. Just 19:35:19 minutes, 35 seconds. One line. William and Catherine would take over public duties whenever the king needed support. He signed it before the advisor even finished writing it. 19:44:19 minutes, 44 seconds down. That evening, the palace released the update, music, and honestly, it barely made a ripple compared to what happened exactly 1 week later. At 19:53:19 minutes, 53 seconds happened at a public reception, a small event. Catherine walked in first, and the room changed instantly. Heads 20:01:20 minutes, 1 second turned. Conversation stopped halfway through. William's office got it, music first. 23:48:23 minutes, 48 seconds. From that moment on, every major appearance, every overseas visit, every emergency schedule was expected to pass through William and Catherine before it reached anyone else. The shift was quiet on paper, but impossible to miss inside the palace. Staff adjusted calendars. Advisors changed briefing lists. Invitations that would once have landed on Camilla's desk were now being redirected elsewhere. Nobody announced it as a revolution. Yet everyone inside the institution understood exactly what it meant. The balance had changed, and there was no realistic way to reverse it. Camilla watched it happen piece by piece. Every update, every revised schedule, every conversation reminded her that the influence she had spent decades trying to build was slipping away. She tried to argue that experience still mattered, that loyalty still counted for something, but fewer and fewer people seemed willing to fight that battle with her. Charles remained quiet through most of it, avoiding public confrontation while allowing the new arrangements to continue. William focused on preparing for the future, convinced that delaying difficult decisions would only create bigger problems later. Catherine carried on with her duties as she always had, refusing to celebrate privately or criticize anyone publicly. To her, the responsibility mattered more than the attention that came with it. Inside the palace, however, everyone could feel the difference. The conversations had changed. The expectations had changed. Even the staff began speaking as though the next generation had already stepped into a larger role. For Camilla, That realization hurt more than any argument ever could. It wasn't one dramatic announcement or one signature that changed everything. It was the slow understanding that the institution itself had already started looking beyond her. The future was arriving, whether she accepted it or not. And with every passing day, William and Catherine stood more firmly at the center of it, while the rest of the family quietly adjusted around them.